All right, here's what we do. I take out all three of them.
Julius, slow down the pace.
Necessary spin move. Unnecessary spin move.
What's going on, everybody? I want to welcome you back to Knicks Daily. I'm your host, Sheer, and you already know we are first to Minny, second to no one when it comes to the news, team views, and the who's who connected to our New York Knicks. Let's go. I want to welcome you back to Knicks Daily. If you're returning to the channel, my KD community, you already know what it is. Shout out to you. I want to thank you for rocking with me. Do me a favor, like this video up even before we start and share it with your friends. We need to get these subs up. I need to get to 2K, baby. It's about 2K in 2025, baby. So let's get to 2K. Help me get there. But you also know you can't have those people who are for you if you don't got those people who are against you. And we call those people the ops. We know you there. We know you in the comments.
And we know you watching the video and ain't saying nothing.
Sending me the evil eyes. Guess what? You rocking with the best, baby. Everybody eats here in Knicks Deli, so you're welcome too. Do me a favor, even if you thumbs down, it helps out with the algorithm. But you're invited here too. Enjoy the show. The New York Knicks had a phenomenal win last night, baby, and that's what's on the menu. So if you're here and you're new to Knicks Deli, let me explain to you how this works. There are only 4 items on the menu here at Knicks Deli. First, there's the bacon, egg, and cheese. Everybody knows New York got the best sandwich in the world, and that's the bacon, egg, and cheese. 3 things on that sandwich that makes it phenomenal. So we're gonna look at who are the 3 players in the game that together combine make 3 of the main ingredients that makes that thing phenomenal. Okay? Next item on the menu is the dollar slice, baby. Everybody knows New York got the best pizza in the world, not Chicago. That's a damn lasagna dish, okay? New York got the best pizza in the world, and that's the dollar slice because it's a stabilizing piece of New York culture. So we're gonna look at who's the player that was the stabilizing player of this game. Next item on the menu is the chopped cheese. Chopped cheese is relatively new to that New York menu, but that thing be busting. So we're going to talk about what was the relatively new element of the game. Who's the relatively new player of the game that made that thing bust and help us get this win over the top? Pause. Okay. Last item on the menu. You can't have the bacon, egg, and cheese. You can't have the dollar slice. You can't have the chopped cheese if you ain't got nothing to wash that thing down with. Here in Knicks Deli, we call it the quarter water. Okay? The quarter water is if there was a player or a moment in the game, contribution to the quarter that helped us get over the top and secure this victory. All right? And that's the main, those are the good parts of the menu. But we've added new elements to the menu. Okay? When you have the good parts, you know there's going to be bad parts. And this last item on the menu was recently added last season. All right. And this is for somebody that says something completely out of pocket or somebody who just gets on your nerve.
After all that,
you need to shut them up without being really rude and telling them to shut the F up.
That's some soft ass shit. Shut that soft ass shit up. All that soft talking. I know you can do it, man. You got to, man, shut that soft ass shit.
And with that person, we just say, you know what, let me feed you. It's on me. Okay? And we give that person the glizzy of the game. Hey yo is right. So glizzy of the game goes to that person who says something out of pocket, who does something out of pocket. And we just don't want to be part of that stereotype of being the rude New Yorker. So we give them the glizzy of the game, okay? And then we wrap this thing up, see what Knicks Nation is talking about. So rock with me, we got a great show today. The New York Knicks went into Minnesota and laid the smacketh downeth. Our boy Prince would be proud of the level of smacketh downeth and blouses that was called inside that arena, okay? And it's ironic that I mentioned blouses because on the other team, something that stood out other than our guy, Cat made a triumphant return, and he made a statement, an MVP level statement. But something I'm going to talk about that you haven't saw on other videos that were covering the highlights, that was talking about our dominance, that was singing the praises of Cat. And we're going to do that here in Knicks Deli. But something I just couldn't shake was the fact that you look on the other sidelines and there was a lone wolf. That's right. There was a lone wolf on the other sideline. And ladies and gentlemen, here in Knicks Deli, we try to do some research. Although we pretty much run the channel on how we feel and give you that raw and uncut. Man, lead up, this was a special game. And when I talk about special and it being a lead up, that means I pay attention to both sides of the media. So I was watching the interviews leading up to the game covered by the Minnesota Timberwolves channel. And they were asking Julius, you know, Julius, when you were with the Knicks and you returned to the Lakers, you said it was more than just any other game. How do you feel about this game? And the ironic part about it was Julius, his words didn't match his body language. His words were saying, you know, it's another game, you know, but his body language was like, you know, this isn't another game. This is going to be a statement game for me. I've kept quiet. I haven't said anything, but this is more than just any other game to me. So basically his body language was saying, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna drop 35. I'm gonna drop 40 on these bums. Okay, that's what his body language was saying. But when I saw that, I was like, they're cooked. They are cooked. Because we know Julius Randle. We know what that meant. We know every time he played Dallas, he was trying to make a statement. We knew every time he played the Lakers, he was trying to make a statement. We knew every time he played the New Orleans Pelicans, he was going to go out there and play hero ball. And we knew we had to do just enough to overcome him having that moment. And that's what we saw last night. So the bacon of the bacon, egg, and cheese, actually the whole damn bacon, egg, and cheese is going to go to Julius Randle. Okay? Julius Randle had a good game last night, but his team lost. Julius Randle, if you look at his numbers, he went out there and he made a statement. He put up big numbers. He put up Julius Randle numbers. Julius Randle's, if you look at his numbers at the end of his career, they're going to say, why isn't this man a Hall of Famer? Or should this man be considered to go into the Hall of Fame? Okay? But the man got his numbers, but the man didn't get a win. The man got his numbers, but the man was met with like a 30 point. Up to, the score was as high as 30 points. Loss. And the key part about that, the fun part about it, and you watch it, better yet, I'll do you one better. I'll show it to you. Go and watch the post-game interview in the Timberwolves locker room. It was crazy, but it was familiar. It was familiar. And what stood out to me was the body language of Anthony Edwards. First and foremost, Julius Randle didn't interview. He didn't do a post-game. He's a veteran in this league. In that trade, he is a big bro to Anthony Edwards, and Anthony Edwards does what he's supposed to do. He has been placed and he's earned the position as the face of his franchise, a young superstar in this league, but he still acquiesced to Julius Randle when he came over. He said, don't you change your game. We'll adjust to you. Little did he know that was the worst thing you could have said, because the performance we saw last night was an exact indicator of that being done. And you can't win in this league that way. You can't win in this league that way. But for me, it was entertaining. It was entertaining for me to see the post-game interview of the Minnesota Timberwolves. First, they went with Anthony Edwards. Then he went with Rudy Gobert. Then he went with Mike Conley. Then he went with the coach. And I watched all of the interviews. I watched all of the words. And it was almost like dog whistles, because all of the vocabulary they were using have been the vocabulary we've been using since Julius Randle arrived in New York. Now, don't get it twisted. Julius Randle is the reason why the New York Knicks are where they are today. Julius Randle is the reason why we've been able to turn this organization around back on a winning track. So we're going to put some respect on Julius Randle's name. But the man, his teammates right now are realizing the shadow side of what Julius Randle can be in terms of bringing down a team. They need to get it together. It may not be in his first year. They're going to struggle this year, but they have to commit to each other because they don't got Julius on board. Right now, he is a lone wolf playing in Minnesota, and everybody else sees what's going on but him, and he seems to be committed to what it is that he's doing, and that's something I really enjoyed. Enjoyed watching the post-game interview because it was just comical to me. First off, I'm petty as hell. Okay, I'm Petty LaBelle. I'm Petty Washington. Call me whatever. I'm petty. But let me tell you what I saw. What I saw in the locker room with Anthony Edwards, there was a couple of things. First off, he was saying everything without saying anything. All right, the reporters ain't no good. The reporters ain't no good. The reporters had every question leading to what it is every fan wanted to know. So the reporter would ask a question like, Anthony Edwards, your game is predicated on driving to the basket. And it just seems as if this season is a little bit different. You are a superstar when you're going downhill, when you are just putting your head down, driving to the basket and jamming it on somebody or hitting that little, the layup on somebody, the saucy layup. What do you think is the problem this year? And Anthony Edwards is just like, y'all ninjas is trying to set me up. I know what you're doing, but I like it because it gives me a chance to answer it. And he was just like, it's different. There's not as much space in the lane as there has been historically. As a team, we need to figure things out, So the man is identifying what the problem is, but he's still savvy enough in his young phase of his career to be able to be political and not necessarily call out everybody. And then a few questions later, the reporter asked, you know what? In terms of the offense, it's just not humming right now. As the leader on this team, as a leader on this Minnesota Timberwolves team, what do you think is the challenge to the offense not clicking to where it was last year? And Anthony Edwards once again smiled, sat back, all of the sarcasm dripping on his face. He said, you know what? I don't think they would like if I answer that. That's crazy work. That's crazy work. But I love it. He basically saying like, yo, if I answer that question, pass the ball around. Pass the ball around. Julius, stop calling for the ball in the lane. Rudy, get out of the way and let me cook. And in his responses to those questions, he also was doing this. They were asking him like, you know what? We can't deny that it was the homecoming of one of your brothers, the long-standing superstar that was here in the Minnesota Timberwolves jersey. How did you feel about Cat coming back and how did you feel about the type of game that he had? And what I love about Anthony Edwards is the same thing I hated about him when he first came into the league. Right off the bat, he was arrogant. Right off the bat, he was cocky. Right off the bat, he was just talking about, I didn't like him because of the way he came at RJ Barrett. Or we wanted him to take the final shot because we knew he was going to make it. Little did we know he was a prophet. Okay? But that don't matter. I didn't like his swagger, him just coming into the league. He didn't prove himself. At least RJ playing in the biggest market and trying to encourage enough to take that shot. So I didn't like him from that point. But it's what I love about him now because he does speak his mind. And the way he interacted with Cat when he came onto that team and he was building Cat up, it showed me something different. It showed me the young man has character. It showed me that the young man understands that it's going to take more than him to be able to win in this league. And he understood that at an early age. So he's like masterful now in these interviews. So in making that response, he said, I love it. I love it. He said, I told Cat once they were up by like 30 and, he had hit like 30. He said, I told him, he was just like, yo, I'm so happy for you, bro. You know what I mean? I love this for you. He said, I hate the fact that we lost. He said, but that's every player's dream, that you get traded away and you come back and play your old team and you get a big victory. You drop 30 of them things on them. You win by 30. He was just like, everybody loves that. But he also said something else. He was just like, not everybody in the locker room may feel that way. He said, but I love it. I loved him coming back. I'm happy for him, And with everybody pretty much, you got to be careful, careful what you ask for. When you have something, I have this saying that goes, familiarity breeds contempt. All right? Familiarity breeds contempt, which means you could have something right in your grasp, right? You got all the benefits of it. But because it's available to you and you have access to it, you find everything wrong with it. You find little things like, I don't like how this fits. And I don't like how that moves. I don't like when you do this certain thing or you say this to me. I don't like your tone. And then what happens? You get traded. Or what it is that you had right in the grasp, right in the palm of your hand. You wake up one day and say, I'm good without that. I know I could find a better player. Julius Randle is a legitimate scorer, and he's a beast in the boards, and he's physical. He can add a different element of toughness to us with the 3-point threat from the game, the inside game. Oh yeah, we don't want to have to pay Cat that contract. Let's just get Randle. And then you make a move that changes the direction of your franchise. And then that decision that you make, now you're looking at it from afar. And they winning. Oh, they winning. And you sitting there, you salty as fuck. You salty as fuck. And you like, damn, why we make this move? We didn't put enough thought into this. Why would we do something like that? But then it's too late to put that genie back in the bottle. Now Cat is up there focused, looking like he's going to win his first MVP of his career, going to a place that nobody thought he was going to be successful in. And now Anthony Edwards is sitting here looking around and he's left to his own devices like, damn, what is the future here? How are the Minnesota Timberwolves going to look? I mean, I got enough. It says on paper I got enough pieces to win, but I don't see it on film. And I don't feel it. The locker room doesn't feel the same. Seems like people are scared to say what it is that we need to say to this player. I don't know how we're going to deal with this. And when you make a move like that and you do a move like that, and if it doesn't work out, then what you're looking at is free agency. Or you waiting in the bushes for Anthony Edwards and that day to come to say, you know what, I want out. I need to be traded. That's what you're looking at when you make a move like that, that disrupts. They were on the doorstep of the championship last year and blew it up. I'm not mad at them, but I'm just saying. Okay? So they asked Rudy, they got to Rudy, and it was just like, listen, so how do you feel, the offense? And Rudy said the same thing. He was just like, offensively, we didn't come to play. Defensively, we didn't come to play. We got to be better. There's a whole lot of we. The man is French. So it's a whole hell of a lot of we. We gotta. But he got to Cat, and he was just like, it was good seeing him. I'm glad that the fans showed him love. I remember when I went back to Utah after being traded, and I was doing well here, and they showed me love. Sometimes, he didn't say this, but you could tell. Sometimes you appreciate more what you have when you no longer have it. And now he especially has to be in a situation where he's feeling in a whole lot of regret because he was bumping heads with Cat early in the season until they got on the same page. What you didn't realize what was something that, as a New Yorker, hearing the rumors of Cat coming to New York, I thought of that almost like a weakness when I was thinking, damn, if we get Cat, this man is going to stay at the 3-point line. We ain't got no presence in the paint. And Cat completely threw all of that doubt out the window. He still hitting 3-pointers at a high clip. At a high clip with ease. Did you see those threes last night? We're going to get to Cat, but did you see those threes last night? And then every time the man goes to the basket, he's going like yamming on somebody. It's stupid. It's so crazy. We haven't had that in a minute. Not even with Mitch. Where somebody's the last person who we had on the team, and correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. Or the comment section if I'm wrong. Last person I remember we had on the team who had that type of ferocity going to dunk the ball was Stat before the knee injuries. Amari Stoudemire. Nobody wanted to get under the basket because they felt like if their fingers got on the ball, they was going to break their fingers on the rim because Stat would still throw it on you, put you in the basket. So you didn't want to try to block the shot. That's how Cat is attacking the rim. That's the type of fire Cat is moving with. And I love it, bro. I love it. So needless to say, a lot of people are going to talk about who won the trade, bro. I just low-key kind of feel bad for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Not for the Timberwolves, I feel bad for Anthony Edwards a little bit. Because the kid wants to do the right thing. And then I'll get to Mike Conley. Before I get to Cat, I just want to talk about Mike Conley, the veteran point guard. They interviewed him and he just talked about, and once again, it's the reporters. It seems like everybody knows what the elephant in the room is, but the one person who could speak to it didn't get interviewed. And you even notice that he didn't even stick around to shake hands with New York team members on the court after the game. He had to be embarrassed, bro. He wanted to, I'm sure if they would have won by like 12 and he would have scored like 30, he would have been on the court looking to shake hands, hug it out. Oh, it's all good. It's all good. He was embarrassed. He was embarrassed. You got to be embarrassed because the performance that you put forth and the result that your team experienced is exactly the reason why you're in a Minnesota jersey. So it didn't say much about him. It probably just proved why New York was right. And it's kind of crazy because they did have the camera on Jalen Brunson, and Jalen Brunson was looking around for the man. Looking around for him like, I'm looking, I don't want to leave the court and look disrespectful. Let me find out where my boy is. Let me just say what's up, find out how the wife is doing. Maybe I could see, his son. Julius is nowhere to be found. Disappearing on his team, disappearing. Look, you may see another trade happening where they get Julius out of there. You may see it. I'm just saying. But that was interesting to see. Those videos. They were just talking about how you could just tell they were all talking about Julius Randle, that he's the ball stopper. And then one last thing. I'm sorry. I know this is my third one last thing. Anthony Edwards, the reporter asked him, where do you think the game was getting out of hand or something like that? Well, eventually they got to that point as a topic. And Anthony Edwards just like, man, we were close in this game. He said where it kind of got out of hand is once they started to get a lead. And he said, and it seemed like we started to get nervous and just started going to the one-on-ones or something along that line. So basically he was saying the moment it looked like or felt like we were letting the game slip away from us, we stopped believing in our game plan. And somebody just started playing hero ball. And I knew exactly who he was talking about because we know that's usually what happens. Julius, like it's my responsibility. He reverted back to that Mamba mentality and he doesn't have the Mamba talent. He reverted back to that Mamba mentality without the Mamba talent. So that's the piece. So needless to say, man, that man is a lone wolf in Minnesota right now. And it really looks like Anthony Edwards is frustrated with it. And we could clearly see just by the interaction, historically since he's been in the league, his interaction with the media, Anthony Edwards ain't going to spend, if he's asked about it, he's going to voice his opinion. And when I say if he's asked about it, if he's asked about it by ownership or management, he's going to express it. So that's something to keep our eyes on. But I don't want to take away from the performance that we had out there as well. Bacon, egg, and cheese goes to the fact that Julius Randle is a lone wolf in Minnesota. So round of applause for Julius Randle and the Minnesota Timberwolves in their abysmal locker room and the terrible loss. Round of applause. Right? So the dollar slice absolutely goes to our guy, Big Perv. What up, Big Perv? What up?
What's up, Big Perv?
Big Perv? Karl Anthony Towns, baby. Yo, I'm bugging, bro. You know I'm bugging. Y'all know I was killing this cat. I'm like, he talks so, for real? Really did.
They really did.
Really did. Y'all was killing this cat. Killing him. Bruh. This man was just like, y'all ninjas y'all really don't know who I am. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Perv.
What's up, Big Perv?
Peace to the UR. Okay? This man has been crazy, bruh. Crazy. The man had 32 points on 12 shots. What are we doing? The man had 32 points on 12 shots. What are we doing? Crazy. The man, don't tell me this man had 20 plus rebounds. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me this man had 20 rebounds. Don't tell me this man just had back-to-back 20 rebound games. Don't tell me that. Y'all need to stop playing. I was saying this man is not better than Patrick Ewing. I ain't never seen Patrick Ewing move like that. I ain't never seen Patrick Ewing move that fluidly. I don't want to diminish Patrick, but I've disrespected Cat when I was talking that talk. Now he still has a lot to prove, still, yes. And the competition at the center position night in, night out, we're going to see. Because you in the East, you got Embiid. In terms of big men, you got Giannis. And depending on when we get Mitch back, he may be at the 4, he may be at the 5. So you need to count those people. If we get, depending on how far we get, we may be looking at a Jokic or AD, whatever have you. So his story has still yet to be written. All right? You're comparing somebody who's in the throes of their career versus somebody who's completed their career. It's unfair for both. But Ninja, this man shoots his threes easy money. It's disgusting. I had no clue. I had zero clue. Easy money. It's crazy. That man truly was the homecoming king yesterday. He was locked in. He was focused. He kept his emotions intact. He played within the flow of the game. The man was battling for rebounds. That's what you want to see. It's going to be stupid. When we get Mitchell Robinson back, it's going to be stupid. I'm telling you now, it's going to be stupid. And all y'all cats, oh my God, I wish that we could trade Mitchell Robinson. Oh, he's always injured. Mr. Glass my ass, Ninja. If we get Mitchell Robinson back, what they going to do with us? What are they going to do with us? What are they going to do with us when we get Landry Shamet back? What are they going to do with us? All you people, oh my God, we got no depth. Y'all listening to Inside the NBA. Oh, they ain't got no depth. They ain't got... Listen, what do you think is going to happen when we bring back Landry Shamet and we got Mitchell Robinson back and then Josh Hart goes to the bench? What do you think is going to happen? We get a deeper bench. So you got McBride, Josh Hart, and Precious Achiuwa coming off of the bench, and Landry Shamet to stretch the floor with the 3. What are you talking? So the dollar slice goes to Cat. Complete domination, complete flow of the offense. The man was on fire. 4 for 4 as bro, perfect from 3-point land. What are we doing? The man is a shooter. The man is a shooter. Crazy. It was just crazy, bro. Downtowns is what we need to call them. Because every time we looked up, the man was shooting from downtowns. It was crazy. You can't talk about the back-to-back 2020. Bro, it was just over. He was giving buckets to Rudy Gobert. It was almost like he had to remind you, remember what I was doing to you in practice? I knew you got Defensive Player of the Year. That don't mean nothing to me. It was just crazy. The New York Knicks have one of the top offenses in the league right now. For you Tom Thibodeau haters, you don't know nothing about offense. You don't know nothing about coaching. All y'all ninjas, where y'all coaches? Talking Tom Thibodeau. Had that breakout quarter in a second. Ran away with the game. Come on, man. What are we talking about? So shout out to Karl Anthony Towns, you my guy, or the dollar slice of the game here in Knicks Deli. Round of applause for our guy, Karl Anthony Towns. Big Purr. Round of applause. Next up on the menu is the chopped cheese. Who is the chopped cheese of the game? And the chopped cheese of the game, I'm going to give it to our guy, Deuce McBride. I'm sorry. Round of applause for Deuce motherflipping McBride. Round of applause for Deuce McBride. Yeah, I know you're going to be like McCall. I understand. You know what? Let me switch that. Let me give it to McCall Bridges. Round of applause for McCall Bridges. Round of applause for McCall Bridges. He is the chopped cheese of the game. Okay? I'm going to give a chopped cheese to McCall Bridges. I told y'all. Everybody took about his jump shot. Y'all listening to Nets fans. Where the Net fans now? Where you at? Because I know you watching the video. You was in my comments section when I was telling everybody, yo, y'all need to calm down, bro. The man is new to the city. He's new to the team. He's trying to figure out his role. He's trying not to step on toes. Get this man a full year with this squad so he can refamiliarize his game with his college players. It ain't automatically going to go back to that. It's a different system, and it's a different hierarchy, and it's a different expectation that you have in this system. Give the man some time so he could figure out where he can impact his game. But nah, y'all ninjas was just like, oh, it's a waste. Y'all listening to the Nets fan talk about all the picks we got, and it was work. Come on, B. The man is showing out on y'all right now. He's showing out. And something that you can't overlook is his physical gifts. When the man raises up for a jump shot, his arms and the release looks like KD when he shoots it. Not as pretty as KD. I know I'm tripping. But I'm just talking about his length of his arms. Pause. It looks like KD. And the man, when he's in his rhythm, is up there. And the man is Minny Magic, baby. He's Minny Magic, one of the few players in this league who actually has a mid-range game. We got that as a weapon on our team. Don't listen to those people with the analytics talk about the mid-range is gone, it's disappeared. Because the last team that won it, when I saw a player who had that type of that midi game, Kevin Garnett, killing, eating every day from that same range. And I kept saying last night while I was tweeting on X, I was just like, yo, the more I watch this man hit that midi, come off curls, comes like real tight off the curls, pop, whop, whop. I was just like, yo, that's Richard Hamilton. Richard Hamilton, bro. Yo, the characters and the players and the roles that we have on our team is next level. It's next level. And it's early. I said on other videos, just wait until after the All-Star game. Every one of Tom Thibodeau's teams really hit their stride after the All-Star game. And it's perfect timing. You want to be playing your best basketball in the stretch run of the season so that you have momentum going into the playoffs. And hopefully that you have healthy bodies at that time back. Around that time is when we're expected to have Mitch. What are we talking about? What are we talking about, bro? We're going to be hard to deal with. But Mikal Bridges was all over the floor. He was in his bag. He was hitting mid-range shots, three-point shots. He was getting fouled, going to the basket. He's playing tough. His confidence is building. And he was up last night. So, round of applause for our guy, Mikal Bridges. Listen, you, my guy, gets the chopped cheese of the game. Round of applause for Mikal Bridges. All right. Now, next up, and probably the last positive item on the menu is you have the quarter water of the game. And the quarter water of the game goes to our guy, Deuce McBride. Round of applause for Deuce McBride. Bro, I can't say enough about Deuce. And I can't say enough about the broadcast team of Mike Breen and Jamal Crawford. Bro, I think New York fans are going to be spoiled. Because if it's not Mike Breen and Walt Frazier, then it's Mike Breen and Jamal Crawford. Bro, I love it. Or our homegirl. Damn, I slipped. Monica McNutt. Come on, man. Yo, New York Knicks fans should have the luxury of watching every one of the games on MSG, just so we can have any of our announcers on there to listen to. It's like poetry. But something that they said last night, which was spot on, they said, Deuce McBride is a top 6 man in this league. He is a top 6 man in this league. That came from the Hall of Famer Mike Breen. And I'm so proud of Deuce, bro. The fact that he really earned his stripes. We watched that man come in drafted. He was drafted by Tibbs. He was identified as somebody I need to get this kid. He was projected to be a Marcus Smart type. And it seems like he hasn't really fallen far from that. He is still a pit bull on defense, and he's expanded and really worked on his offensive game. And his confidence and his leadership and his understanding of his role and his understanding to know that when his number is called, answer it. And that's what we've seen in Deuce. We saw that last night. Big shots from three. Big shots from three, being disruptive in the passing lanes, picked off a ball or two. All right? And remember, we had that offensive juggernaut output against one of the top defensive teams in this league, bro. One of the top defensive teams in the Western Conference. That's what we produced. Shut them down. And he was dancing on them on the court. You know what I mean? Like, that, come on, baby. When's the last time the New York Knicks had that level of confidence? And you feel it building, bro. We're building something special. Something special is happening, bro. On the offensive side of the ball. Reminder, it's a Tom Thibodeau team. To you Tom Thibodeau haters, reminder, something special is happening on the offensive side, and we haven't even scratched the surface of our defense. Bro, Deuce McBride showed up and showed out last night, and he showed that he could be relied on. And once again, look, we haven't even spoken about Jalen Brunson. Haven't even spoken about him yet. But attitude reflects leadership, and for the fact that every one of those players know that they have to take their job seriously, that's a testimony to Tom Thibodeau, the coaching staff, and then the person who is the superstar face of your team. Now joined by another superstar face, but it starts with Jalen Brunson, how he goes, how he moves, what his presence is, his attitude, his swagger, his demeanor. All of everybody else follows, and he even throws it up every now and again. kisses it up and reminds everybody, you doubted me. You passed on me in the draft. You doubted the move when I came to New York. You said I wouldn't be a star. I'm treating a role player like a superstar. I'm treating a role player like Kevin Garnett. They said that. He proved them wrong. And Deuce is doing the same thing. So I want to give you guys an opportunity to give a round of applause. Dance on Deuce for Deuce McBride. Now, since we have rattled through the menu, let me just point out the nah, son, nah. You wildin' moment of the game. So the nah, son, nah, you wildin' moment of the game goes to the fans of the Minnesota Timberwolves and Anthony Edwards. Do me a favor, throw your boos up for Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves fans. And let me tell you why. Because when they were at Madison Square Garden after Karl Anthony Towns just got traded, the first game that Karl Anthony Towns and the New York Knicks played against Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves, after the game, when they were swapping jerseys, one of the fans had asked Anthony Edwards. He was just like, "Yo, bro, when are you coming to New York? Now you got to come join your boy in New York." Anthony Edwards said something slick like, "Nah, I ain't coming to New York." He was just like, "The moment we get down bad, y'all boo us." And he said that, and he laughed it off, kind of like backing the fan up, right? Tell me that ain't happened last night. Tell me that ain't happened last night. Why'd that happen last night? Y'all didn't hear the boos cascading from the ceiling? That's when you know it's different in New York. We got the opposing team's fans booing their own squad. Now you know how it feels. Mr. Edwards, reporters, why don't you ask him that? Why don't you ask him that? Did you hear the response of the fans when you weren't playing well in Minnesota? Did you hear them boos? So it's not just Knicks fans, right? Come on, B. You better than that. You better than that. And then the last thing I absolutely love. There was no way for Minnesota fans to take anything positive from that game last night. They're going to look at Julius and know that his inflated points was probably the reason why they lost. So there was no possible way, right, that they could take anything positive and leave that arena happy. But wait a minute. I think there's a Chick-fil-A promo. And if Deuce McBride misses this free throw, the whole arena gets free Chick-fil-A sandwiches.
Free chicken Chick-fil-A sandwiches from Chick-fil-A.
He canned the free throw. F your Chick-fil-A. F your sandwich. Take your hungry ass home. Take your hungry ass home. You don't want the chick. Nobody care about the chick. Nobody care about your kids. We don't care if your kids are hungry. Take your ass home in the cold air. Get your ass out of here. Take your ass home. So the nah moment of the game goes to the fans in Minnesota and Anthony Edwards. Give a nah you wildin' moment of the game to them people right there. Okay? And that's going to wrap it up, man. My final thoughts on the game, it was the best game to watch. If I'm being honest, a lot of the games this season, because of work, has really been, when I lock in at work, I really do lock in, so I do have late nights. And I really haven't been able to sit through and watch all 4 quarters of maybe any of the games outside of maybe 4, okay? And this was one of them, man, and I'm truly glad that I did, bro. It was an enjoyable watch from the moment I sat down to the final buzzer. And like I said, I watched the post games afterwards, so even an hour or so after that. Then I hopped on YouTube to watch highlights and other content creators. We love this thing. I love this thing, man. So my takeaways is we have an opportunity possibly to string together a good stretch of wins. We have three very winnable games coming up, and we should be excited about that. We really should be excited about that. We should be excited about what we're seeing from the offense and the gelling that we're starting to do. There was a sequence last night of passing. Did y'all see that? Which is crazy. The New York Knicks were in such a flow. They were in such a flow state that the passing was instinctual. The passing was instinctual. You can't ask for anything more than when that hee is whizzing. You don't hear the hee, you hear the whoo. Come on, man. It's a beautiful style. It's a beautiful style of basketball. It's a beautiful brand of basketball to watch as a Knicks fan. Now we hopefully can connect to those fans who were able to watch the 70s Knicks who did that to perfection, to the tune of 2 championships. We want to do it to perfection, to the tune of 1 in our lifetime. And if they keep playing this way, then that thing becomes more realistic than not. Mikal Bridges continues to improve right before our eyes. I loved seeing that. It was cool seeing Spike Lee at the game. So even out in Minnesota, you know, we got orange and blue fans in the crowd. We saw some orange and blue jerseys out there. That was dope to see. Something that I love to see as well is Jericho Sims got his jersey retired. Look, I know Knicks fans, we're going to Knicks fan. All right. And I know everybody was just talking about he trash or whatever have you. That's our young kid, you know, and you can't teach 7 feet bounce out of the gym. And he showed you last night when he came in and gave you great minutes. He's skying for rebounds, blocking shots. He got the second bounce, the second hop on the rebound. And he's a young cat that knows Tibbs' system, you know, and somebody's going to pick him up. If the interest is there and the value in return is going to be there, somebody's going to get him. But I love the fact that he returned to Minnesota and he had his high school jersey retired, or I think he made the Hall of Fame, you know, for the high school or something. He had his jersey raised to the rafters. And another piece, and I love that Jalen Brunson was there to say a few words. Bro, what? I don't think we've seen our captain do that. Now, Patrick was a silent leader, you know? So this is the first real captain that we've seen in our lifetime. And he's doing captain things. I love the fact that the Westchester Knicks were getting some run and really playing the game. And we had most of the starter lineup there supporting them with Jalen Brunson in the crowd. So that the Tyler Kolek, when he's there dropping 30, he's doing it in front of the big bros. I love that, bro. I love it. Speaks to team chemistry. It speaks to the culture. And I think that's why Cat is thriving. He was able to come in and seamlessly blend in to the culture and what we're doing here in New York with no pressure. No pressure. So I love that, man. I love what I'm seeing. I talked about Spike being there, Sims's jersey, the fact that Jamal Crawford said that the New York Knicks playing style is a style of play that's built to last. He said their playing style is a style of play that's built to last, bro. And if you think back to those teams who won regularly and consistently, if you think of the Detroit Pistons and them talking about playing the right way, it's built on defense, rebounding, and following the offense, passing the ball and playing the right way. If you think of the Golden State Warriors, they had a system that fit the skill set of their players, and they didn't move away from that. They had role players. They had a defensive stopper. They had rebounders of the basketball, 3-point shooting, and they did have a big man in the middle as well. Come on, man. It's a style that worked for them. Once you figure out a style of play that allows you to have this type of offense and this type of win against a defensive team like Minnesota, you have something. And for somebody like Jamal Crawford to be like, listen, this playing style is a style of play that's built to last in this league for the next few years. If you tweak it, bruh. And right now what we're seeing is Leon Rose don't miss. Leon Rose don't miss. It seems like every move he's doing, he's visualizing, he's envisioning pieces that's going to lead. He's doing the perfect set of moves that's going to make the perfect video when they talk about and chronicle the path to a championship for the New York Knicks. That's exactly what we see. Because it seems like every move that he does, it just doesn't miss. Okay? So with that being said, it was a great game. Knick fans, I love, if you're content creators, I love watching your content. Keep doing your thing. And for everybody else who is supporting my channel, hit the like button. Do me a favor, leave the comment. Let me know what you think of the video. Let me know what you thought of the game. How do you feel about Cat? Do you think I was right? Or do you think I was on to something about Julius? I know we don't care, but look out for more videos, man. I'm going to be pumping these things out, man. I got my focus back. I got some work projects off of my plate, and we here to vibe, baby. The season is here. We winning in this season. We winning this season. People can't be like us. They could try to steal our formula, right? They could try to create their own channels, right? And try to take your blueprint. But people ain't got the sauce.
That's Soldier.
Shit.
That's my bar.
Shit.
He copied my whole fucking flow.
People ain't got the seasoning. People don't got the menu of Knicks Deli, baby. So you can smell what we cooking as much as you want, okay? But here at Knicks Deli, everybody eats. I'm shit. I'm out. Peace.